Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the number one sports podcast, broadcasting Sundays at 9 a.m.
8 p.m.
in Sacramento, California. Sports Talk 916. Now here are your hosts, Greg Bowl and Coach Greg Barrosi.
Woohoo! Take two. Again, how's it going? It's Sunday night. We're back on nights again. Back where, I feel like this is where we belong.
Oh, no! We suck again!
I thought the morning, this is where we belong. This is our natural time slot. So, yes, we're back on evenings on Sundays. Welcome to episode number 293. I'm Coach Greg. Right there is Mr. Chief Greg Bowl.
What's up?
And together we're the two-headed monsters of Greg that we like to call ourselves, Sports Talk 916.
So as
what up?
This is episode 293. I don't know.
What did I say?
No, it is. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone knew that or not, considering this is the first time that we've been broadcasting this evening.
Right.
But
293A B.
B. So Charlie, no, we did not get PG&E. We got Comcasted. So anyone that lives in the Sacramento area or general vicinity, you know how wonderful Comcast is. But yes, we're here. And let's just talk about some stuff, huh? What is the bigger embarrassment of sports this weekend? St. Louis Cardinals or the Dallas Cowboys? And I hate to put you on the spot like that because we don't plan any of our questions, but what is going on? What do you think is worse? Would you rather be a Dallas Cowboy fan right now or a St. Louis Cardinal fan? Wow,
that I thought I had the answer right away, but the more I think about it, I don't know. I mean, it's only one game that the Cowboys lost, but they lost them to a bigger shit show than you could ever think of, and the Cardinals get no hit for 13 out of 18 innings.
Oh, Michael put a third option in. LA Dodgers. What's worse?
Ooh.
As Giants fans, I think we have to go Dodgers.
Yeah, I think so.
That team and Dodger fans, their high horse is a lot higher than others for whatever reason. They think that, and I've seen so many posts come through on social media that 106 wins, 7 straight NL West titles, 2 straight pennants, and enough choke jobs to impress a porn star is still better than 3 World Series in a decade. And I don't understand the logic behind that.
No.
How they're justifying those thought processes. Obviously, you're never going to admit that another franchise, especially a rival, has had a better 10 years. But, they don't give out trophies for regular season accomplishments. They don't give out trophies for the first 3 rounds of the playoffs either. You have to win when it matters, and they haven't done that. Part of me feels bad for Clayton Kershaw, just because, he's a fantastic pitcher. You can't take that away from him. But I don't know if it's because he lets the pressure, knowing that when he's being put in the game, he is the guy. And I don't know if Dave Roberts put him in a precarious predicament by not getting Mieta into the game instead of Kershaw when it mattered. There's a lot of questions that could be asked. The big one was, will Dave Roberts still have a job with LA? And they already made it clear that he's back next year. And their payroll is through the roof. They don't have a lot of money to go around.
I don't think they're really worried about they're not worried about the luxury tax. So they'll spend whatever it takes.
Barnbaum thinks that the biggest embarrassment is Sac State's opponents, the ranked opponents in the Big Sky Conference. Hornets have upset ranked opponents 2 games in a row. You can take it away from him in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't get what the breakdown is for Clayton Kershaw.
Some guys just don't have the mental toughness or whatever that it takes to pitch or to be even just to be successful in the playoffs. It takes
So here's my question. With Kershaw, like I said, they've already made it very clear that Dave Roberts is coming back, right?
Right.
Is there any chance in hell that they might consider trying to relieve themselves of Clayton Kershaw?
No, can't do it. He's too good of a pitcher. I mean, you have to keep throwing him out there, hoping that at some point he's going to figure things out and do what he does in the regular season. But he's too good of a pitcher.
How many chances do you give him? I mean, how many chances can you give this guy?
As many as you have him under contract. As many as you have him under contract.
You sure about that, though?
Yeah, you have to. Good of a pitcher.
Oh, I'm not sure that I don't know that my leash is very much longer with Clayton Kershaw as my marquee pitcher. I just don't know that I can do it. I don't think I'd ever said this before in my life, but I think I agree with Mike Barnbaum. I don't think he's back next year. I think that they're going to find a way to package Kershaw and that contract of his, and they're going to try to solidify the bullpen and get other starting pitching. You can part ways with Kershaw if you can get a back-end bullpen. Their bullpen is trash. And, Oscar, he's always on in the mornings with us. He's a giant Dodgers fan. He's a huge Dodgers fan. And he's been as clear as ice. They weren't going to win, and that's because they did not have a bullpen, and they didn't address it at the deadline. Farhan Zaidi didn't address it last year at the deadline. Roberts wanted to run with Kershaw instead of using Kenley Maeda, who was one of their best bullpen pieces when the game mattered. He's sitting on the bench. So, is it Kershaw? Is it Roberts? Is it the dynamic of they're stacked. I mean, they could build that bullpen up without moving Kershaw, but it's going to cost a lot of players. I think it's
so
easy.
I think if you start seeing Kershaw slip in the regular season, then I think you start thinking about moving. Like if he comes out next season, and by the trading deadline he's 8-12 or 8-8 or something like that, then I think you need to move him, and you'll be able to trade him without a problem. Somebody will want it. But if he's going 19-3, and with a 2.5 or 3.0 ERA, I almost said GPA, ERA, you got to hold on to him, and you got to just keep throwing him out there.
Okay,
but you have to shorten it. You have to shorten his leash. And I think the mistake that they made was they got greedy. And he got through the seventh. I think it was the seventh inning. He got through the seventh inning and did what he came in to do. But he came back for the eighth inning when he probably shouldn't have. And that's when he gave up the 2 home runs. So
that's when Maeda should have been in the game. He's been the eighth inning guy the entire goddamn season.
So I put that on Dave Roberts.
I'm talking like I'm upset about it. Inside, I'm throwing a little party that Maeda didn't get into the game because Kershaw gave up back-to-back bombs, and it was fantastic.
Right.
And then because baseball is such an amazing sport, and karma and irony is like the most prevalent in that game, Howie Kendricks is the guy that hits the grand slam in the 10th that sends the Nationals to the next round, former Dodger, and the Dodgers, he was totally expendable and let him walk last offseason. So another great piece of that. I mean, absolutely loved it. What's up, Mr. 300? Joe Forney is in the room. First person on the planet to race 300 Spartan races at the ripe young age of, I want to say 65.
Oh, wow.
Props to him. He got a brand new Harley Davidson from Spartan, which is pretty cool.
How many races did you run?
300? I believe he's at 301 now. 302 even.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Joe's the man. Barnbaum says, I don't want him in Oakland. We never said he was going to Oakland because they don't pay anybody. Oakland will have a strong, healthy pitching staff. No one gives a shit, Mike.
Talk about,
Let me hold on. Let me before you get to that thought. Because Mike's talking about teams that might grab Kershaw.
Mm-hmm.
No. All right, moving on. If Farhan has this great of a relationship with Kershaw as it's believed that he does, would you welcome Clayton Kershaw to the San Francisco Giants?
No.
Why?
Because he can't pitch in the postseason.
The Giants can't get to the postseason.
True.
So
maybe you Tim Lincecum him. You let him pitch all the regular season, get into the postseason, and then you leave him off the roster so he doesn't fuck things up.
Barry Zito him.
Yeah.
Just, hey, thanks for getting us here. Here's a ring.
Peace out, yo.
Root for the other team because you got left off the roster.
Right.
Which is crazy. Addison Moore says bring up Chris Shaw. Addison and Shaw got into an argument on Instagram. So hopefully he's not, disgracing our name since he's a writer for us and the Shaw's on the River Cats. So thanks for that, Addison.
What's their argument about?
They posted a picture of him in banana Halloween costume, and Addison said it's better than striking out. And Shaw messaged him, was like, yo, what the hell is that about? Like, we've talked at games before. Like, he's like, just kind of put him on blast, which I thought was awesome. So Chris Shaw is quickly becoming one of my favorite players in the Sacramento River Cats. You mentioned briefly the Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals make history in the first two games against the Washington Nationals. Anibal Sanchez goes out and no hits them through 7. The following game, Max Scherzer comes out not to be outdone and no hits them through 6. They're up 2-0 on the St. Louis Cardinals, which we talked about earlier. It's probably one of the favorites to win the NL. And on the flip side, the Yankees are up 1-0 on Houston. I think that is going to be ultimately the World Series of the year. Honestly, it's going to be one of those ones.
Isn't every World Series the World Series of the year?
Yeah, but this is the ALCS, and I think it's going to be better than the World Series matchup we get because I don't think St. Louis or Washington has the power to keep up with Houston or New York. New York played an entire season with AA players and hit like 7,500 home runs. Basically ran through everyone they played and finally got healthy right at the end of the year. Now they're just rolling through everybody.
Right.
And Houston, last year's champions. No, Red Sox won last year.
2 years ago.
2 years champions are just as phenomenal as they've ever been. So it's going to be, I think that's going to be the series. I don't think either the Washington Nationals or the St. Louis Cardinals can keep up with those teams. Charlie says, I love how the Nationals are doing their thing without Bryce Harper. I love how the Phillies just sucked ass without Bryce Harper, fire their manager, and then now he's a candidate for the San Francisco Giants, which he's an interview, but I'm not really a big fan of.
I'm not either.
Is in an interview with the Philadelphia Phillies. I do like that. The Giants are said to be the number one contender right now for the Giants managerial position is said to be A's bench coach Mark Kotsay. Big leaguer, really has his head on his shoulders when it comes to baseball. He knows his shit. He's a tough SOB when it came to being on the field. Yeah, TJ, I agree with you. No to Kapler for sure. So it's going to be interesting to see what Farhan does. I know that Dave Brundage, the manager from the Sacramento River Cats, is going to get an interview. They are also going to give one to Henry Mullins and Ron Wotus to keep them internal and give them an opportunity. Every Giants fan that's ever said Buster Posey needs to be the manager needs to fly a kite and get the hell out of
God, how stupid is that?
Ridiculous goddamn thing I've ever heard. But there's a lot going on. I mean, there's only 4 teams left playing baseball right now. And there's more news about baseball than almost it feels like all season, like off the field stuff. The tragedy is getting way, way worse. Turns out one of the PR of the Angels is the guy that gave him the drugs that ultimately killed him. And apparently the Angels may have known about it as well. And not only that, but this guy also took the pills with him, which is interesting. Oh boy, here we go. Hold on. Let's do it.
Damn it, Barn Bomb.
What now?
Greg Verosa, to the point Greg Bowl made about the Yankees Astros being the World Series is something I can relate to. Remember the Kings Lakers series back in 2002? Many thought that the NBA Finals, not the Lakers Nets series that followed.
Hi, this is Mike Barnbaugh.
Oh,
you need to get a cricket sound. You need to get a cricket sounder.
I had crickets right here. It's a really long cricket sound, though, so you're going to have to wait it out because you asked for it. And not to be outdone, but here's a classic.
Monkeys never claps.
One of my favorite clips we've ever played on the show. Charlie Wells says Buster's going to be a nice bullpen catcher before too long. Buster Posey needs to be the Giants' first baseman.
Yes.
That I don't know how to make that any more loud and clear. Buster Posey needs to be the Giants' first baseman. Brandon Belt can play wherever the fuck he wants. Learn a new position. Brandon Belt can catch. I don't even care. Put him in catcher. Put him back at pitcher. Put him anywhere. But Buster Posey needs to be the permanent first baseman for the San Francisco Giants. Ron Sullivan, what's up? Gil, what's up? Carla, Regina, Joseph, Shelley. Hello, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So predictions real quick before we move on to basketball. NLCS, any chance St. Louis comes back 0-2?
No.
So you have the Washington Nationals in the World Series versus
your Houston Astros.
I agree with that. I like the Yankees, what they did this year. I like the grit and the determination that kept them going as long as it did and got them where they are. But I really just think that the Astros had that pedigree to keep it going. That true underdog story, even though they were in the World Series 2 years ago and won it.
An amazing pitching staff.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat that pitching staff from top to bottom.
I just want to see future San Francisco Giant Garrett Cole continue to do very well because I want to see him to be a Giant next year. Nationals, Yankees for Barnbaum. TJ's got Nationals and TJ's got Astros and Nats. I guess that would be the Nationals. Amy Hanrahan says yes.
I'm not sure what you're saying yes to.
Was two, but yes. NBA.
See, Amy's one of my assistant coaches, and she's a big Cubs fan. Unfortunately,
I thought you were going to say it's one of your swimmers, and I have to stop swearing again.
No. So, hey, before we go on to basketball,
yep,
something hit me a couple of weeks ago when the A's played their.
Are you okay? Did it hurt?
Yeah, hit me in the head. When they were playing the wild card game, and lo and behold, the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum or Oracle Park or whatever the fuck they call it now, was completely full.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And I seem to remember a lot of A's fans throughout the year giving the Giants fans bandwagon status, bitching and moaning about how bad the Giants fans are. Yep. Oakland A's fans, you are the epitome of bandwagon fans. There's like 20 hardcore A's fans, and Barnbaum's one of them. Mm-hmm. But the rest of them, if they aren't winning, you don't go anywhere near that place. And you have no right to ever talk about the Giants fans being bandwagon.
And you 17 people that claim to be A's fans, Ring Central call it. Are you fucking kidding me? It's Ring Central call us Power Balance Pavilions on line 1.
Right?
That's a terrible name. A's fans, fuckers, you owe me an apology. And I'm going to wait for it because like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, last time we did a show, I told you guys that you need to be cautious of your the governor's office and city council not to fuck up Howard's terminal.
Yep, and they're doing it.
they said, "Oh no, it's not going to happen. She's good." Hey, you know who the fuck it was? It was Barnbaum at the goddamn River Cats, the Aviators playoff game. I told him he needs to be careful because they are going to somehow screw up that stadium, and there's going to be another city laying in wait for the Oakland Athletics should it happen. And he told me, no, it's not going to happen. She's on board with the whole thing. She's going to do great. This, that, or another. And guess what? Who had to intervene but Rob Manfred to come in, sit down with city council during the wild card game and tell them either drop this goddamn lawsuit that you have against the A's wanting to reuse the Coliseum site, or the team's going to move to Las Vegas with the Raiders and you're going to have nothing.
Yeah.
I told you, Mike, that my gut feeling was telling me that there was something wrong going on and it's going to be bad for the A's. Sean, we're going to get to football here in a minute. We just had to touch on all the other bases. It's going to be bad, and I hope to God that they figure that shit out because I don't want to see another team gone. As much
this
as
is the only thing they got left. It's the only thing they got left.
I don't care about the city of Oakland, but I don't want to see those fans get shot in the foot again. The Warriors are already gone. They start playing at Chase Center this week. The Raiders are gone next season, and God forbid the A's could be gone right behind them. Figure that shit out and stop getting on this high horse that you're going to be better than you because there's renderings out for a goddamn stadium at Howard's Terminal. Until shovels hit the ground, fear Oakland's politicians. Plain and simple.
Yep.
Sean hit it on the head. Oakland politicians are a joke. Real quick, before we get to football, let's talk about Sacramento Kings. I don't know if Isaac Delso, Joe, I don't know if you're still watching or not, but you hit the nail on the head. Buddy Hield is not a max player.
No.
Buddy Hield should not be maxed. He should be extended, absolutely, but he should not be maxed out.
I don't know. Do we have a max player?
No, De'Aaron Fox. I would max De'Aaron.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got to make some improvements. I don't put him as a max player.
He has one more year before he's eligible. I definitely put De'Aaron Fox as a max player category.
I don't know that I do.
Buddy Hield should not be maxed.
No.
4,150 is way too much money for Buddy Hield right now. He's great at shooting the ball. He's great at scoring, but he does not do enough right now to justify being a max player and locking up that much money on the Sacramento Kings.
No.
Every single person that says that they need to be that way needs to stop.
They do need to sign him. They need to sign him. They need to get it over with. But he's not a max player. Because he's not a true super max player. He's just
he could get the Rose deal, which is like a 5-year 180 if they want to like send him to the top of the tier. But let's even not worry about what the max deal numbers are. Buddy Hield is not a $30 million a year player.
No.
We can shorten it down to 1 year at a time. He's not a $30 million a year player, and he should not be paid that way.
No, he's got to have a couple of more good years before.
That hit the nail on the head for me was you're paying Buddy Hield max money, hoping for an 8th seed.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense?
And how do you have a max player that's not an all-star? I don't know that you pay somebody that much if they're
for the all-star game.
What's that?
He's not even on the radar for the all-star game yet.
No. And we've had these discussions years ago about what a superstar is. And to me, those are the guys that should get max deals. I think half the NBA is overpaid as it is.
Well, that's given.
Yeah. But I don't think that you can't get yourself into that situation of maxing everybody out because you can't do it. You're going to have to give up too much to do it. And if you got to keep this. We've talked about the core of this team, the core. It's all we've talked about for the last year and a half. And we start maxing players out, and especially when they don't deserve it, you're going to have to give something up. We were talking earlier about the possibility of maybe having to give up Harry or having to give up somebody else that could be a key piece. Bogey, having to give up one of those or both of those guys in order to sign Buddy to a max deal, and you can't do that. We're not good enough to give up two parts of our team that play that big of a role, and we'd be going backwards. We'd be a 28 game. We'd be back to where we were 2 years ago.
Well, and here's the thing: if you max Buddy Hield, then De'Aaron Fox is going to want a max deal.
Yeah,
and then 2 years after that, Marvin Bagley is going to want a max deal, and then whatever draft pick you have next year is going to want a max deal, and then you're going to have to bring in other people. Sean, I agree. You got to keep Bagley, Fox, and Hield, but you can't max all three of them. TJ, no. I heard the same thing you said, that Hield would be willing to take less than a max deal to stay in Sacramento. He wants to be a part of the Kings. The thought process right now behind the whole situation is this. You don't know if there's going to be any increase in the payroll or the salary cap next year. In fact, that there's also anticipation that there may be the same number or even less because of the bullshit that's going on right now with Hong Kong and China. And Daryl Morey's comments on Twitter and the backlash from that, the Chinese sponsorship money and Chinese money is coming out left and right, and that could impact it. So Buddy may be looking to get, let me phrase that, Buddy's agent is looking for Buddy to get as much money as humanly possible. Okay, we might need to get off the air because I'm agreeing with Barnbaum again. Barnbaum says the salary cap in the NBA may be reduced as a result of the whole China fiasco. One tweet by an NBA GM did the league in. Adam Silver is going to have to pay for this. I agree with Barnbaum again. There is a urgency for these players to get paid. Buddy has 8 more days before he can't be offered that deal until after the season. And it falls under 2 categories. 1, we don't know if the salary cap's going to go down. 2, we don't know if Buddy Hield's going to get hurt. If Buddy Hield gets hurt, he doesn't get the same money. He wants to have that security, and I don't blame him for that. But I really hope that Vlade's smart enough to give him an extension, but not a max deal. Here's an extension. Prove to me that you can be that player. And then after next year or the year after, we'll extend you with a max deal. Why do we need to do it now?
Yeah.
Earn $20 million next year, not 34.
Yeah. And there's a couple guys in here, Matt Pentecost and who else? Somebody else said, Charlie Wells. Both said that Fox is worth a max deal. Fox isn't worth the max deal right now. Fox might be worth a max deal in 2 years, but Fox is not, as far as I'm concerned, he hasn't proven to me that he right now is worth a max deal. He's potentially worth it, but I don't see him being worth, and we can't, it doesn't matter because they're not going to try to re-sign him anyway. He's not eligible. But if he were eligible, right at this moment, he's not worth a max deal.
Sean, again, I agree with. Sean says problem is Hield's the first one to do. Fox is second, Bagley's third. Who knows? Maybe Bagley won't earn a max money. He has a long way to go for that. Less importance on the big man in the league today. Agreed 100%. I think that Fox has the most potential.
I agree with you there.
A max deal player.
I agree with you there.
Progress from his rookie year to this year, hopefully into rookie year to last year into this year. If he stays on that meteoric rise that he was on, I think that your tone changes if we have this conversation at the same time next year.
Absolutely. I'm just saying today, at this moment, Fox isn't worth a max deal. A good year, then, next year he might be. But right now, it potentially is, but he hasn't been consistently good enough for a max deal.
Charlie says Fox's impact on the franchise is greater than what he does on the floor. That's starting to sound like a DeMarcus Cousins argument, and I don't like that. Barnbaum, I agree with Greg Veroza. Fox is not worth a max deal, and for that matter, no player on the Kings team is worth a max deal at this moment.
Okay, stop it, Mike. Mike, stop.
Who signed into Barnbaum's account?
Somebody, Mike, stop. You're making sense.
Yeah, somebody else is on Barnbaum's account. Sean's right. You got to pay the point guard max money. If Buddy's willing to take less and stick around, do it. Max out Fox if he earns it. And then figure out Buddy's extension again later on. more things coming out of Sacramento. Trevor Ariza may be out for some time. There's a scuttlebutt around the franchise that Iman Shumpert could be brought in as a stopgap at the wing, because right now there's nobody at the wing. And there's reports that the Kings are still in possibly on Steven Adams, as well as Brooke Lopez from the Milwaukee Bucks. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I'd love to have Steven Adams. I think he would bring, and we've talked about this a lot because we were both high on Adams during free agency last year. But Adams would bring a tone to this team that it's never had since they moved to Sacramento. And that's some nastiness. I mean, maybe Corliss Williamson, man, I don't think he had that same vibe, though.
But his name is Big Nasty. You're telling me he doesn't have that?
No, he doesn't. Not the kind of Steven Adams nasty that, it would increase the credibility of us being a tough team instantly. So I would do that in a heartbeat. Lopez,
hold on. In a heartbeat. What if that?
Well, okay, yeah. Hold on.
Included Bogey, Harry Giles, and a future second-round pick.
We talked about this before the show. Again, I probably wouldn't have, before the show. I said no. I might do that.
What's up, Oscar?
I might do that. Don't go anywhere, Oscar. I got something for you later on. I might do that. I think, Giles can't stay healthy. Bogey is log jammed in a position that we're deep in. And
what we're Bogey, we've talked about it multiple times, is he fucking plays too much. International ball, summer ball, or whatever.
Yeah. I might do that. I think I probably could be convinced on doing that. If Steven Adams stays if you can get him for 3 years, then I would do that. If it's a 1 year and he's free agent eligible again, no, I wouldn't do that. But if I could get him for a couple of years, then I would.
Yeah, I probably agree with that as well.
Yeah. So,
TJ, did you miss Oilers talk? Are they still undefeated, or are they still keeping it out of the L column? One of the greatest starts in franchise history since 85-86 for the
nice
Edmonton Oilers. I almost call them the Houston Oilers. For the Oilers. So good job to them.
Yep. All right, Oscar, I got something for you.
All right, let's do it. Wait. Go ahead.
I don't know how this one relates.
I don't know.
So, today's National Day. This is one that all men should rejoice on. It's National No Bra Day.
Oh, God damn it, Greg Baroza.
And the last time we did the show, I was up in Nevada City for a wedding. And I did the show from the hotel room. And then I went down and had breakfast afterwards. And I think in Nevada City, they celebrate National No Bra Day on a daily basis. Because I hadn't seen that many Hooters flapping in the wind as I did that day in the 2 hours I was walking around Nevada City. So
that could be accurate. Nevada City is a free loving place.
Right?
Go Niners. That's right, Sammy. Sammy, we talked about your Cardinals a little bit ago.
Hey, and Sammy's Bears didn't lose today.
No, Bears didn't lose. Sean's Raiders didn't lose. Oscar's Raiders didn't lose. It was a good weekend for Sports Talk 916 football fans.
Yeah.
TJ's Patriots didn't lose. Our Niners didn't lose. It was a good weekend. Keith Joganadis' Steelers are winning right now, I think, last time I saw.
I can't see it from here.
I mean, it's been a good week. Sammy, before we get too far ahead, though, you're normally brutally honest. I want you to be completely 100% crystal clear. Yeah, Oscar's Dodgers didn't lose today. Lacey just joined. Her Cowboys lost to the Jets, so they're getting kicked out of the league. Sammy, how concerned are you with the fact that the Cardinals have been no-hit 6 and 7 innings in back-to-back games? Their bats can't come to life to save their lives. How serious do you think it is that the Cardinals have zero chance to come back? And I don't want you to be your super optimistic fan. I want you to be real because I know you have faith in your team, but let's be completely honest. How likely is it that team can rebound from this because they are up against a steamrolling Washington Nationals team right now? And I don't know why I waited like he's going to talk. Like we have Charlie says hippie culture. Nats are the hottest team. And Nats might be the hottest team in baseball right now.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe the Yankees, we talked about them a little bit ago. But Sammy, we'll let you chime in on that whenever you get a chance. Sharks update, they're up 2-1. The Flames just scored in the second with 6:43 mark. Let's see. Connor defense. Steelers won 24-17. So Keith Drogonatis, the Steelers won. If Chargers lose, Raiders are a half game out of first. They will have a 2-game cushion in the loss column on the bottom half. Yeah, Chargers lost today. Chiefs lost today. If there's any team that's a winning team right now that won big this week, it's the Oakland Raiders. They gained a game essentially in the loss column.
Sorry.
Someone talking to me. I'm like, what? Okay. Yeah, it's gonna. I don't know. Good week for the Raiders.
Yeah.
What sucks for the Raiders though is they're not home for like 13 more weeks before they get a home game. So no one gets to see them play.
Well, they had to let the grass grow on the infield.
Yeah, that might be what it is, right?
Yeah.
Did the Sharks sign more 40-year-olds? No, but Patrick Marleau is like the spark plug.
Isn't he like 53?
Yeah, I think so. Speaking of 53, what's up, Carmichael Dave? Jeffrey Wilson, congrats to your Steelers. They just won the game, beat the Chargers. Let's talk though real quick because we do our pick'ems, and Carmichael Dave is the king of sports pick'ems. I was listening to the show Friday morning, and he was giving his picks, and he didn't do. Oh, he took the Chargers with the 3 points, or not Chargers. I'm sorry, the Rams with 3 points.
Oops.
Dave did, Carmichael Dave. So that's a little bit, but Raiders will get killed in Green Bay next week. I don't know about killed. The Raiders have had like 4 weeks off. Let's see. Cards are choking. Sammy admits it. Okay, cool. I'm glad he admitted that. There's no way around that. As optimistic as you want to be, like you have to be like, okay, this doesn't work. Hey, Carmichael Dave, Mike Barnbaum says hello. If you're still on, he's your biggest fan. He has a fat head of you on the wall. It's just a 4x6, but it's like life size. Yeah, football was interesting this week. We do our pick'ems, and as you mentioned in the very beginning, we are the worst at this ever.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a good week for us or really anyone. I'm trying to pull them up now because this is great preparation to have them ready to go, right?
Right, absolutely.
I picked the Rams to win the NFC West. Charlie, that one's not a very good pick. I don't want expert pick. Why am I in baseball? No. Pick 'em games. Here we go. So Sean Jonas says Raiders 2 more weeks on the road, lots of home games the rest of the year. Chiefs lost last 2 games. Yeah, the Chiefs didn't do well. So speaking of not doing well, so we didn't have a show last week, and so we did our picks online, and I'm not happy to report. It'll probably be around the same time, Oscar-ish, PM-ish. I work mornings on Sundays now, so I can't come on and do the show in the morning. So we're back to our original time. Greg Verosa, this week you had You had 7 right.
I know.
I've had 5. There's more red on my pick'em list than I ever want to admit. So I'll just go through my picks real quick here. I had the Patriots. That was good. And then the woes set in big time. I had the Buccaneers. They lost. Jaguars as an upset over the Saints. Yeah, they lost. I had the Chiefs. They lost. I had the Eagles. Didn't go so well. I had the Ravens. That was a win. Seahawks got a win. In the Dumpster Bowl.
No way. You really did? You picked them?
In the Dumpster Bowl of all Dumpster Bowls. Thanks, Oscar. How's it going, buddy? I had the Dolphins upsetting the Redskins. I'm the one that got upset, and I'm still upset about it. This is my upset of the week, and I got it right. So I should get like 5 points for this. I had the St. Louis Cardinals. I had the Cardinals. I had the Arizona Cardinals beating the Atlanta Falcons, and I did not know that it would come down to a kicker, Bryant, shaking an extra point to lose the game. I did have the San Francisco 49ers beating the Rams, but I also had the Cowboys, I had the Titans, and I had the Chargers. I kind of want to switch my pick to the Lions because it seems like that's the way things are going this week over the Green Bay Packers tomorrow night. This was probably the roughest week.
This is ugly. This was ugly. Yeah, and I wasn't. I mean, I was 2 games better. I had New England, which everybody had New England.
Yeah, literally everyone in the league had the Chargers. You got to turn your sound off if you're going to be in the watch. I kind of want to switch my pick to the Lions because
I don't have my sound on.
The way things are going this week over the Green Bay Packers tomorrow night.
Well, I know what I got.
This was probably the roughest week. Everyone listen back what I said because apparently we're on echo now.
There we go. I got it.
All right, there we go. Thanks, Rosa.
Shut up.
Yeah, TJ got 9 right, you son of a bitch.
So I'm trying to see which games I screwed up the most on.
Most of them. You had Tampa Bay like I did.
Yeah, and I had the Chargers.
You had the Eagles. You had Atlanta. You had the Cowboys, which everyone in our league had the Cowboys.
I had Philadelphia.
Yep, and you had only my mom took Pittsburgh to win that game against the Chargers this week. Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Somehow got manager access and went in and changed everything. So yeah, not good. Not good by any stretch of the word.
No.
It can only get better from here, right? Like that's what the people tell us.
I think that's what we said last week, and I think we actually did worse last week than we did.
So we're gonna do our picks now. Will it let us go?
I don't know if it will.
I don't think it will. I think we're gonna have to manually make our picks for next week. And then we can, I guess we could write them down. But I want to do our picks before we get to talking about the 49ers. Because we suck at picks. So the Niners game should bring us back up.
Right.
This was week 6.
Mm-hmm.
So we need week 7 because that's after 6, right? Oh, God. This is going to be one of those weeks. All right, it's 1999. I have my blue sticky notes.
You gonna write mine down and then put them in for me?
And a number 2 pencil. I will write yours down, but you could put your own goddamn picks in. I'm not gonna have you be like, "Oh, you cheated."
Well, I didn't know if you were gonna do it or not.
No. I'll write.
That
them
means
down.
I have to write my own picks.
No, I'll write them down so you have reference. Will you please? And then I will send them to you.
No, that's all right. I'll write them down.
Fine. No, why the all right, hold on. We got to do this though. We got to do it right. If we're gonna do it, we got to do it right. Stop rushing me.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not here to get back in the presidential race. But you never know. I could be swayed. America needs me. Okay, now it's time for the most luxurious, amazing, incredible picks in the world. Mine. I'll take the Ravens to top The bit doesn't make sense because cats eat birds. I also take the Rams to beat the Seahawks, but who really cares? My upset pick is the Eagles to beat the Giants, and my wild card is the Bills to sink the Dolphins.
All right, boys, you heard his picks. Now it's your turn. Greg B, who you got?
I'm still waiting for one of those games to match up. Because if we come across one of those games and it happens, I'm matching his picks. I don't care. I don't care who it is. But, like, you know, if it's – I don't even remember any of them that they are. But if we hear them and they work, I'm picking them.
If it's a cat and it eats a bird, then we know it's right.
Well, that would have worked this week, except the Ravens beat the Bengals. So that theory is out the window. Thursday night football.
But who cares?
Right. Thursday night football. The Chiefs go to the Broncos. I cannot imagine a situation where the Chiefs lose 3 games in a row, even on a short week.
I don't think so either.
I'm taking Kansas City.
Yep, KC.
The Raiders travel to Green Bay. Oscar already buried his own Raiders. This one's hard.
I'm shoveling dirt on the Raiders.
This one's hard. I am, as of right now, barring injury or whatever that may come out this week, I am going with the Raiders over the Green Bay Packers. In Sean Jonas just put a little tidbit out there. He said Raiders-Packers game will be close. Raiders run the ball in that one. Gabe Jackson returns at right guard. The Mammoth O-line gets bigger. Packers run defense near the bottom of the league, 28th. Raiders win time of possession. Raiders run defense 8th in the league. Packers pass defense 14th. If Jacobs runs the ball well and that O-line is healthy, the Packers are going to have trouble. I'm going to go with the Green Bay. I'm going with the Oakland Raiders over the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I'm sticking to my guns.
That's fine. The Rams, 3 losses in a row, go to Atlanta. Do Rams eat birds? Probably not.
Sheep don't eat birds, no.
Well, I'm going to go with the sheep eating the birds.
I am too.
LA Rams. The 49ers, 5-0, undefeated, travel to the 0-5-6, winless Washington Redskins. They couldn't even – no, they did win today. They beat the Dolphins. Just kidding. 1-5. Yeah, Charlie, nice stats. 1-5 Redskins in Washington. Do the 49ers continue to ride high, or do the Redskins pull something out?
This is one of those games. This is a trap game.
Every game this year has been a trap game. We've talked about it on every show. We've called it a trap game.
I know. It's still a trap game. Of course, the Niners are going to win.
There's no way that the Niners don't have 200 yards rushing against Washington Redskins defense.
Just don't say there's no way they can lose, because that'd be the kiss of death.
Probably. Texans, Colts, Sunday.
Texans.
I'm going Houston as well. We got to pick different games. Vikings, Lions. Mike, no one knows. No one cares. I'll take Sac State. Vikings, Lions, Rosa.
Lions.
Really? Finally, you got a different pick. I'm taking Minnesota. Jaguars, Bengals, birds versus birds. Cats versus cats. I like your thoughts there, Sean. 49ers win easily. Niners can work on their passing game next week.
That would be nice. I'm going for the Bengals to get off the schneid.
I'm going with Jacksonville because I'm all about that mustache. Gunther Minshew is the man. Gardner Minshew, not Gunther. Gunther's ice cream.
Or he's also on the Friends.
That's true.
He's also on Friends.
He's on Friends. Fun fact about that: he was actually just an extra on the first episode.
I saw that. Yeah,
him so much that they brought him back.
Yep.
Cardinals, Giants.
Fuck, 2 shit shows right there.
could be the dumpster fire game of the week.
Yeah. I'm going to go Giants because I think Barkley's going to be back next week.
I'm going to go the Giants too, just because I don't like the Arizona Cardinals. Dolphins 0-6. Buffalo Bills coming off a bye. What's up, Derek Reed?
Got to go Bills.
I am going to go with the Ryan Fitzpatrick-led Miami Dolphins, and if Josh Rosen starts, I'm switching my pick to the Buffalo. Chargers coming off a loss. Titans after being shut out by the Denver Broncos. I have the
The Titans.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Titans. I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one.
I'm going to go with the Titans.
All right, Ravens, Seahawks. So it's battle of the cats, battle of the birds. Ravens and Seahawks. This game should be interesting as all hell.
Well, cats eat birds, so I'm going with the Ravens.
Both birds. I'm going with the Ravens as well. Seattle should not have won today, by the way, against the Browns. That was
they got lucky. And the Browns are just horrible. They're
TJ says Buffalo's not that bad to lose to Miami. Yeah, but Ryan Fitzmagic is back. Like I said, unless Josh Rosen, and then it's all about Team Josh Allen. Where do we leave off? Baltimore Ravens, Saints at the Bears. The Bears. Teddy Two Gloves versus whoever the hell's starting for the Bears next week.
I'm going the Aints.
I'm going with Teddy Two Gloves as well. And Drew Brees is throwing the ball already, by the way.
Is he?
QB controversy, Titans, Tannehill. Tannehill going to start over Mariota?
He got benched today.
Well, he should have. He lost to the Broncos 16-0.
Right.
New Orleans, Saints, Bears, Eagles, Cowboys, NFC East matchup.
I'm going Eagles.
I hate to say it. I'm going Dallas.
Oh.
Patriots, 5-0.
I'm going Patriots.
Up against the hottest team in football, beating America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, by 1 2-point conversion. 2 points. The New York Jets, the Jets, Jets. What a terrible Monday night game.
Is that the Monday night game?
The Monday night game.
I'm giving
New England by 33.
I know. I was just going to say, we don't usually put points on there, but I was going to say New England by 50.
I'm gonna put 33 down as my number. We'll check it next week. So there's our picks for this week. Let's talk about the game of the week for us. And I mean, as you can see, I'm rocking my Richard Sherman. The 49ers all week long, every single media person that had a microphone or a phone in front of them continued to bury the 49ers, to lay waste to a 4-0 record, calling them a terribly overachieving team. They haven't played anybody. Are they really as good? Are they contenders? Are they pretenders? This is going to be the test. They're playing the Rams. They're playing against Aaron Donald and Clay Matthews, who didn't play, and Todd Gurley, who didn't play, and that high-powered Rams offense that's led by Sean McVay and Jared Goff and Cooks and Woods and your boy Cooper Kupp,
right?
Who you've been riding his fucking coattails all week or all season in fantasy.
Last 2 years.
Yeah. Wheel of Fortune may get better ratings than Monday Night Football. Yeah, maybe. The media had the Niners pegged to lose immediately. Kyle Juszczyk down. Mike McGlinchey down. Joe Staley was out. George Kittle was questionable until this morning. Everyone was just ready for the Niners just to get destroyed. And apparently Siri's been recording everything I just said on my phone to send a text message. Good Lord, that's a long text to somebody. Nobody. It's just a blank text message. Thanks,
Is that
Siri.
the whole show?
No, it just started just on that little rant.
Oh, okay.
But the Rams, the game starts. And okay, so first of all, TJ says, how about visiting? Estimated that 52% of tickets sold in that game were sold to San Francisco 49er fans. And it sounded like it. That was loud for the 49ers. Of course, Mike Barnbaum knows that Cooper Kupp is out of Eastern Washington of the Big Sky Conference, which means he probably shredded Sacramento State at some point. But everyone pegged the 49ers to get destroyed. And 49er fans, of course, were like, no, we're fine. We don't need Juszczyk. We don't need McGlinchey. We don't need Staley. We don't need everyone that matters. And opening drive, Niners look bad. They go 3-and-out. You're like, shit, okay. Well, the good news is they don't have Gurley, and we have the number one run defense in the league, and we haven't given up a touchdown, right? All we have to do is worry about that passing game. Worry about the passing game. That's all we got to worry about. Niners come out in a wide 9 formation, which is designed to stop the pass. What do the Rams do? 7 plays, 65 yards, 56 yards, whatever it was. 7 plays, 8 yards play, 56 yards. Every single play was a run up the gut until the final play of the drive. The Niners' run defense was not there. And you're like, this is going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Went down, Robert Woods takes a little end around, runs in the end zone, first scoring touchdown on the ground against the 49ers this year. And you're like, all right, well, that doesn't look good at all. Niners go down, tie it up. And you're like, okay, cool. We move the ball a little bit. The run game just kept going. The Rams couldn't pass the ball to save their lives. And Solomon Thomas finally figured out how to play some football. He got to Goff quite a few times. DeForest Buckner was a beast on the run game at times. Bosa didn't do much. Aaron Donald didn't do much. He had a sack on the first drive of the game. He had a couple runs or stops for losses. But I was legitimately concerned about the 49ers defense. And that was until the Rams get down to the 3-yard line or the 4-yard line, and Brown's running the ball, and he gets met by Warner, and Sherman wrapped around his leg, stops him at the 3. And they bring up 4th down. And that 49ers run defense stuffs Brown on a quick snap at the goal line. And I put it on our Facebook page. I said, the Niners proved today that the Rams can run all they want goal line to goal line, but they're going to make a stand where the money is made. And that goal line stand changed the momentum of the game. That was the turning point of that game. The Rams defense or offense deflated at that point. Things start to get bad. Niners go down. Fucking Robbie Gould, 6 of 13 on the year. Good thing we signed him to a new deal.
Yeah, right.
Kick to save his life. Misses a 50-yarder at the half. Rams get the ball back. You're thinking, okay, the Niners defense better show up. First play from scrimmage. Goff pitches to the rookie running back. I can't think of what his name was. Fumbles it. Recovered by Eric Armstead. Niners go down, score a touchdown. 1-yard run by Jimmy Garoppolo. Niners have had, of their 6 takeaways, just kidding, 7 takeaways on defense that were on the opponent's side of the field. They've scored on all of them. And Eric Armstead has been involved in 3 of them, whether it was a sack, a strip, or a fumble recovery. Look good. Next drive, defense shuts them down again, 3-and-out. Momentum shifts. Niners take it in the end zone again. Gould finally kicks a field goal. I think he was like from 4 yards out, but hey, a kick is a kick. The Niners defense shut the Rams down wholeheartedly. It was one of those things where you're just blown away by how efficient they got, even though they gave up a lot of yards running. It was one of those things where it's like, okay, you know what? This defense is legit. It's not like, yeah, there was a couple rough spots. Yeah, there was a couple times that, we were a little bit concerned. The run game definitely was not there. Total not 200 yards, that's for sure, which they were averaging per game. Garoppolo was efficient, 24 for 33, 243 yards and a pick. The pick is definitely not on Jimmy Garoppolo. Deebo Samuel broke off his route from the 1. And it was the easiest interception for Marcus Peters I think he's ever had in his career. But Garoppolo looked good. Kittle 8 catches for 103 yards. Pettis was making some good catches. Kendrick Bourne had a really good grab, but Jimmy Ward on the final drive of the game, 2 huge pass defenses. And he played really good. He had 5 tackles. The Niners had no turnovers, which is a little bit interesting. Bosa, no sacks, which is unfortunate. Because he started to turn the corner. But the Niners all around were decent. And I know you hate to admit this because you hate the draft pick, but Mitch Wisnowski,
A fucking punter.
is worth his weight in gold.
You could have got him as a free agent. You wasted a draft pick.
And he is proving to be an X factor because when they need to flip the field, you can rely on that foot to get it done. 4 punts, 159 yards, 39.8 per yard or per net with return. That is huge. Average hang time was 4.6 today. 4.6.
You could have got him as a free agent. You didn't have to waste a draft choice.
And Charlie has a really good stat. After the first drive, the Niners defense held the Rams to 53 yards on the ground the rest of the drive.
Yeah.
Or rest of the game, I should say. Sean, 49ers D-line and running game will get them far. Who's going to beat them? Toughest teams for the 49ers, Saints with Breeze, if he's back, and the Seahawks. I think Packers aren't good enough against the run. NFC is a three-team race. 49ers, Seahawks, Saints with Drew Brees. Panthers could be in it with McCaffrey. Black and blue division, NFC North overrated. Beat each other up, no home field in the playoffs. McCaffrey is on a world of he's on his own planet, but I don't know that they can do it with their quarterback situation. He looks good. I can't think of what his name is right now. And I think he's going to supplant.
Is it Josh Allen? Josh something or other?
No, Josh Allen is in.
It's Josh something.
Buffalo. I thought it was Allen something. I think he's going to take the job away from Cam Newton. It's going to be one of those things where Ron Rivera has a very, very, very tough situation in his hands to figure out what the hell he's going to do. Sean, it was over at halftime with 49ers. Coaches' halftime adjustments, and that 10-point, it was over. Shanahan deserves the credit for this turnaround. Hats off to him. Great job. Yep. Kyle Allen. There you go. I definitely believe that, and TJ, thank you. The Niners are the real deal. And what's crazy to me right now is 2 teams left in the NFL that's undefeated. 2. What 2 quarterbacks are leading those 2 teams? Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G.
Now, the argument could be made that up until this week, the 49ers haven't played anybody. But I'm not sure that the New England Patriots have really played anybody either.
No.
Now, they played the Jets in week 1. They played the Bills in week 2. They played the Redskins in week 3. This isn't right. Hold on.
No, they played the Dolphins in there too.
They played the Steelers in week 1. They played the Dolphins.
You look at last year.
Oh, I was just for whatever reason was only showing me week 3. They show Steelers week 1, Patriots and Dolphins were week 2, Jets week 3, Bills week. All of their division games done. Bills week 4, Redskins 5, Giants week 6. Anyone whose argument is that the 49ers haven't played anybody, shut the fuck up. Because
hasn't looked at New England's schedule.
The Patriots, no, Mike, they do not. They'll play each other in the Super Bowl, hopefully. The Patriots have played far worse teams than the 49ers have played.
Yeah.
At least the Browns look decent at times. The Steelers are looking better. Their defense is still good. The Rams were legitimate. They played
Tampa Bay.
the Buccaneers, who have shown signs of life. Goddamn, Jameis Winston needs to be benched after this week.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And they played, bear with me here, the Bengals, who are a joke.
Right.
At least the Niners have played 3 teams that should be. The Patriots haven't played anybody. Well, I take it back. They played 1 because the Niners and then both play the Steelers. Do the 49ers?
Yeah.
No, we already went over. So I can't wait for tomorrow for the media rounds to start and to see where crow is eaten, because there will be crow consumed on national media and national radio.
And Richard Sherman's having a field day with this too. Have you seen what Richard Sherman's been saying?
I didn't see what he said about this one. No.
Oh, basically he said the same thing he did last week is, if you picked us to finish with 4 wins, just shut up. Don't change your pick. Just keep eating crow. You're just going to keep feeding your crow until, until you admit that you fucked up in the beginning of the year, basically is what he was saying.
I'm good with that. Let them keep looking at the 49ers as underdogs. Please keep looking at us as underdogs, because here's the deal. Gavin, let's take a look at, go back to the Patriots schedule here, because I want to kind of take a peek and see where things are, because right now Sean just made a good point that the Patriots have one of the easiest schedules, if not the easiest schedule in all of football this year.
Could be.
So they played the Redskins, they played the Giants. Next week they have the Jets again on Monday night. We already talked about that. Then they have the Browns. Then they're at the Ravens. They don't have their bye till week 10. Must be fucking nice. Then they're at the Eagles, home for the Cowboys. So the end of their season is a little bit more rough.
Yeah.
They go at Philly, home for Dallas, at Houston, home for Kansas City. Then they get a break the last 3 weeks of the year. They go at Buffalo, at Miami, and then they have the Bengals in week 15. So they have a little bit of a rough stretch. So we'll give them some credit. I don't think they go undefeated, but in looking at this, I don't know how long it is till they take a loss either. At the Jets, they're going to win. That'll be 7-0. That'll be 6-0. No, 7-0. They're already 6-0. That'll be 7-0. Home for the Browns, you got to imagine that's going to be a win. I just don't know that you're going to see the Browns go into Gillette and win that game.
No.
You have at the Ravens. That one could be an interesting game.
That's going to be a good game.
That'll be a good game. Then they go in their bye.
That's at the Ravens, right?
Yeah. And then they're at Philly, which could be
a game.
Home for Dallas.
That's a walkover.
At Houston, which will be
tough.
Home for Kansas City. So they could lose a handful of these games.
I think they go 14-2.
Losing to either the Chiefs, Ravens, or Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2 of those 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then the 49ers. And by the way, kudos to the NFL making every team's website exactly the goddamn same. It is so much easier to find shit on these websites than it is in previous weeks or seasons. So Niners are at the Redskins, home for Carolina, should be a win. Obviously, both of those should be wins. At Arizona, they never play good at Arizona for whatever reason, but this year should be different. Home for Seattle. They always seem to lose at home against Seattle.
And they seem to do well up there.
Yeah. Home for the Cardinals, home for the Packers, which totally changes that dynamic that Sean was talking about earlier about the Niners-Packers, because it at home makes a huge difference in November. At the Ravens, should be interesting. At the Saints, depends on if Breeze is back. Home for the Falcons, home for the Rams, at Seattle week 17. The Niners could be at a 14-2 clip as well. Maybe 13-3. I'm thinking
12-4. I'm thinking 12-4.
If we're being overly optimistic, I think the Ravens, the home game against the Seahawks, and the road game against the Seahawks, I think are the 3 that can be really bad. And then home for the Rams could be a little bit of a trap game because they could just be overconfident.
Yeah. There was one other game in there. Go over the schedule one more time.
I already.
Carolina.
You think Carolina could be?
It depends on if they can stop. I mean, they've stopped everybody else, so I don't know why they wouldn't be able to stop McCaffrey. But if he can, if
McCaffrey, like I said earlier, is on a different planet.
right, so if he does what he's been doing the last month or the whole season, it could be tough for the Niners.
And Charlie makes a good point. The Niners could lose that last game of the season because they could be resting their starters for the playoffs.
Yeah, could be.
So that could be an interesting point to look at as well. So it'll be interesting. Really cool what Sherman did in his post-game interview when it started naming off all the players on the defense that the media doesn't talk about. He was like, remember their names. If you can find the interview, you should watch it. I'll definitely check that out. Baltimore is their first loss. Is that I don't know if you're talking about the Niners or the Ravens. It could be, or Patriots. It could be both of them. I can relate.
Sherman is getting to be that. I mean, we knew this last year, but Sherman's that guy that you hate him. I hated him. We hated him. I know you hated him too.
No,
you hated him when he was on the Seahawks.
I hated him when he played against the 49ers, but Sherman has always been one of my favorite players in the NFL.
Okay.
Hence why I'm wearing his jersey on my chest right now, because just like Randy Moss, just like Vince Carter, until they became a member of my team, I refused to buy their jersey. I refused to support them. But the second they signed, I don't think it was a week after Sherman signed here that I had his jersey ordered.
Yeah, I think
it's one of those things where I just immediately I'm like, okay, you're here, let's go. And it's the Kobe Bryant effect. You love him as a player, you think he's amazing, but fuck him when he's playing against your team.
Right.
And that's what it was with Richard Sherman. And I hope to God the Niners pick up that option they have on him and they re-sign him and let him finish out his career here. He's loving it. He wants to be a part of this team. He's helping build an amazing defense.
Yep.
He's exactly what the Niners asked him to be as a leader, but he's way more than anybody expected on the field. He's healthy again. He's shut down. He is everything that the Seattle Seahawks were hoping he wouldn't be when they let him walk. And it's a beautiful thing for us.
Yep.
Last thing here, if Gronkowski comes back, Pat's passing game drastically improves. The rumor has been week 10 since the end of the last season. William McGinnis said on the air the other day, the day that Gronk retired. I would agree with that, except for the fact that Gronk is about as far away from football shape and football weight that you can imagine. He's got to be down 50 pounds from his playing weight. And it's all muscle. Like, he has zero muscle on his body that you can visibly see right now. And I think that for a player like Gronkowski, I mean, yeah, his work ethic is insane. I'm sure he can go ahead and get it back. But to do that in 4 weeks, to be ready by week 10, is going to be something that's going to be insurmountably difficult from a healthy approach to getting back to football ready in that short amount of time. So, I mean, I think week 11 or week 10 is the cutoff. They have to make a decision if he's going to come back.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I almost feel like the Patriots are confident enough that they don't need him.
I don't know. I can see it.
Well,
I mean,
okay, so let's paint this picture then, right? Gronk comes back. Patriots make it to the Super Bowl. 49ers make it to the Super Bowl. You have Brady versus his protege. You have Brady Garoppolo. And then on the other side of the ball, or on the same side of the ball, other position, you have Gronkowski versus the new Gronkowski.
Right.
The people's tight end. Okay?
God.
He is going to be the best, if not already one of the best, if not the best tight ends in all of football. Very soon. George Kittle is a monster. And I would love to see him and Gronk going toe-to-toe, obviously proverbially because they don't play on opposite sides of the ball. But, if you can do that, I can do that better type of mentality. And I think that would be great for a Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely. It'd be awesome.
So it'll be interesting. I don't know that Gronk comes back. I think he's enjoying the time away from the game. Like I said, he's a little bit on the smaller side than I think he would want to be in order to come back. But you never know. We'll just have to wait and see for sure. But the Niners and Patriots are both fun to watch. Next week should be interesting. The Niners have the early game. Isn't the Super Bowl in Tampa this year? Isn't it at the Buccaneers?
No, it is
No, that's
Miami. It's in Miami.
At least they'll see somebody win a game.
Yeah, right.
DJ's prediction earlier in the year was that the Dolphins win one game. I don't think they do. Although I think didn't I take them next week? I did. I took them next week versus whoever the hell they're playing. I don't remember who it was, but I took them. Ryan Fitzpatrick, unless they start Josh Rosen. But and a league is pushing for Breeze Brady's Super Bowl. I don't think they are.
No.
John, you're on this kick that the NFL is rigging everything. Like, yeah, they're having a problem, but just like the Vontaze Burfict thing, yeah, the suspension was wrong, but they're not out to get anybody.
Oh no! Well, what?
Yeah, Sean thinks that the NFL is against the Raiders, and the Burfict thing was because it's the Raiders, and they're trying to punish them. And
no, the Burfict thing was because it was Burfict, and he's an asshole, and a cheater and a dirty player.
I disagree that he should have been suspended the entire season.
He wasn't suspended for the whole year because of that hit. It was because of that hit and all of the other hits that added up to
laundry list of everything he's ever done.
Yeah.
But Sean believes that it wasn't a dirty hit. He doesn't think it was a leading with the helmet. He doesn't he because Doyle got up and was able to continue playing, it shows it wasn't dirty. If you go on Sean's Facebook and his stuff, you'll see weeks of malcontent and very, very upset posts about the whole thing. But he's passionate about his Raiders. I will not knock him for that. If it was a 49er player, we'd probably be very similar in opinion. But I also feel like if it wasn't a Raider, it wouldn't have gotten as much, screen time, if you will. And maybe that's why we don't look at it the same way, because he's not a 49er. But I said it early on in the year when they signed him. I said that was a train wreck waiting to happen. And if anything, the Raiders benefit because he did bring a toughness, and he really did mentor the young linebacking core on that team, and it's showing. So if anything, I think it's addition by subtraction. They were one thing away from just getting blown out of the water with some stupid hit that he would have done that would have cost them a game. All I heard from the league was we had to send a message. It had nothing to do with that particular hit. Yeah, well, maybe you don't have a track record as long as a CVS pharmacy receipt.
Yeah, no, he deserved every minute of that suspension.
So that'll be interesting. Barnbaum, I agree with the Burfict suspension because of the history of the type of player he is.
Okay, we got to stop the show now. We got to go.
4 times now we've agreed.
Yeah, no, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, that's enough. So next week, upset of the week, the Dolphins will beat the team that they play, because I don't even remember who it was anymore. See, now I'm curious. I got to look it up again because I need to know who the hell I'm rooting against. Oh, the Buffalo Bills. That's right. Yeah. Dolphins eat Bills all the time. So, yeah, that's nature. So, anything else you want to cover? Any other last minute shindigs? I don't even want to talk. I know you want to. I don't even want to talk about Hell in a Cell last week at Golden One Center.
About what?
Hell in a Cell, the WWE pay-per-view that I went to.
What is that?
You keep asking about it, Rosa, and I'm not going to talk about it on the air. We can talk about it in private. It's not something that I want to relive, and I'd really appreciate it if you stop asking. So we're not going to do that this week. I know it hurts your heart.
Okay, let's not talk about it. I'm fine with that. Okay. Move on.
Is the champion again. It's a different thing. Sean, have a good night, bud. But yeah, so next week, yes, show probably like 8-ish, 7:30, 8-ish.
Yeah.
And I think our listeners and our participation tonight prove that we need to be on at nights.
Yeah, I think so too.
At one point, we had like 35 people on Facebook Live watching, so that's huge for us. We never even got close to that in the mornings just because everyone was watching football. So we will continue on at this time. we'll continue to try to bring the best show that we can. Congratulations, 49ers. Great turnaround. Fun times. Bye. All right, Sean, have a good night. Let's talk about South State Athletics. All right, so they play sports. They wear gold and green. If you want to talk Sac State, you go talk to Mike Barnbaum. I will post his phone number on Facebook, and you can all call him. Mike, I'm kidding. Yeah. So for Greg Veroza, I am Greg Bull. This was episode 293. It will be up tomorrow on Spotify, Google Play Music, and on iTunes, as well as on our Facebook page. Check it out, subscribe, like the page, and please leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that we can continue to climb up the rankings and get more eyes on our show. Big shout out to Albert Chavez. Albert, I'm going to work with you next week on getting some new audio and commercials in so that we could go ahead and continue to build up our sponsorship with you. It's always greatly appreciated. And obviously, Greg Rosa, we have to do some more promoting for you as well, other than on social media. But for now, until next week, you guys all enjoy Columbus Day. I have to work.
I do too.
Or I might not. I haven't been feeling good, so I'm not sure I'm going to work. I've been sleeping like absolute garbage. So if I don't sleep tonight, I'm not working tomorrow. But
go drink a big glass of milk and take tomorrow off.
Yeah, because right. That'll work. For Rosa, I'm Greg Bull. We will see
Night,
you
Larry.
next week.